Hey guys, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we finished cross-examining Angel Starr, and now we are just being sent into a little recess of sorts, and we're gonna go back into the court to do what? I have no idea, but let's find out. Also, if you can hear any music not coming from the game, my mom's downstairs, and yeah, I can hear her pretty clearly. So yeah, February 23rd, 11:56 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Mr. Wright. Huh? What? Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn the trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny, insignificant, and to tell the truth. Hey, what's up? They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire off its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin' at least. Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look and see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They got the place locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. What is going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen the last 2 days have really been on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about— Oh my god, I can't read. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall, the whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now that just beat all. Now don't that just beat all. I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler. What? At the award ceremony that afternoon, Edgeworth seen it too, I reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns, and sometimes you just gotta let that bull go wherever it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Oh, wait! Oh, I do love some good ribs. February 23rd, 12:32 p.m., District Court number 9. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Whoa. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over. Your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable. What the fuck? It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Who's there? Oh my god. Oh god. This music. What's with this guy? A strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? I'm getting so nervous just looking at him. Oh, it's you. Stop Oh, hi. Sorry I'm late, Archie. The roads are packed. It's just me. Long time no see, hey Archie? How you been? Swim much these days? Oh, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy, schmizzy, Ezzy. My boy, you have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Archie seems to be his nickname for the judge? I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Aha! So you're Wright, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks. So sorry about a little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? We should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Little worthy? Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Name scan. Damon Gan. Pleased to meet you, everyone. Stop staring at me like that. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Miss Starr wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed in that exhaust pipe. On Little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth! How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document, where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistake in that signature. Miles Edgeworth. That's no fair. The day of the crime, I had... You're heading to class because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I see Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you had to do was push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Fine. My jaw is being really weird today. Oh. Can I? Okay. Don't scare me like that! I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the court record. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police, and this knife? Sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really. What is up with my jaw? It hurts so much. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department. A detective? That's hush-hush information, Archie. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order! Anyway, we at the department were all a little flustered, as you might as well assume. We're in the middle of a top-secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? Well, I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Okay. Excuse me, special? Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on in the department that I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us a clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Miss Righto. Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. I should try presenting the piece of evidence that's had me stumped all this time. So, how were things down at the department? Well, okay, listen. Okay, so Emma said first, let's go examine the knife. So let's go examine the knife. Oh my god. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. DL6. Maybe it's a case number? That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe I should check the court record again. Something didn't happen at the police department too, did it? You got a good look in your eyes there, Righto, my boy. Sharp, hungry. Chief, did something happen? And why haven't I heard? Why haven't you heard? Or why didn't you ask? Oh. No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Lana's case and all? Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Edgy? Oh, I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator, do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, right? I suppose I could help, if you'll help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one, good one. That kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. Maybe let's press this statement multiple times just to get all 3 of them. So, tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say that the crime took place in the evidence room of the police department. The evidence room? You wouldn't know about the evidence room, would you, Righto? I can't say I've heard of it. I guess I should ask again once I learn a bit more about this evidence room. There's something stranger about this than the place where the body was found. Oh, no. Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call a stabbing, with a knife. A knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit we're cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the 2 cases than the cause of death. It seems like I'm gonna have to press this a bit harder. One more time. So, when did the murder at the police department occur? Now that's a sharp question, Righto. Very sharp. Well, my boy, you're gonna love this. The time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our own place at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? I think not. This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. How can you say there's no connection? Well, because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, Righto. You understand. Try to understand, Righto. Well, if you can prove there is a connection, more power to you. Maybe there is something that ties the two murders together. Whatever it is, I better find it and get to the bottom of this. 2 detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office, and one at the police department. That can't be a coincidence. And that knife! What was it doing there? I better check this knife out. Okay, so... Let's try something. See, listen. Okay, this says 6-7S. Or 5, I don't know what that is. But I think if you were to kind of flip the thing around, maybe it would say SL9. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Let's go. I'm smart. Wait a second. At last, an honest-to-goodness objection! This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Haha, an honest goodness. What do you mean from the judge? This is great! Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important. Why? Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7 is 12-2. Your Honor? It's upside down. Upside... The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Oh... Oh! When he wrote this note, he was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. Order! Well, Chief. Ha, well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? Wait. This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. So this knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it, in fact, a murder weapon? Nice! Good show, Little Worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder, and it was found on the exhaust pipe of Edward's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. Okay. I think we can now go back and press this again. I think I remember Phoenix saying something like, maybe once we learn more about the evidence room, we can go back and press the statement again. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second, I have heard of that. The evidence room. Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go down to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can begin to testify about the details. Wait a minute. But what if it is? But what if it is? What the fuck? Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place, mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen, from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had written down the numbers on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. That's scary. You're to make a good pair. Took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. I can't speak. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information? Unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim of the department, okay? If you're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Okay, well, what division was the victim stationed in? Oh, you want to know that, do you? Do you? Criminal Affairs, Division 1. The detective's responsible for homicide cases. Homicide. That would be the same division as Detective Gumshoe. Detective Goodman, who was killed in the underground parking lot, was homicide too. It's almost like a serial killer was after homicide detectives. Except this serial killing happened simultaneously, scientifically speaking. Well, I sure hope Detective Gumshoe was the next on the list. 2 detectives were killed. Okay. I'm gonna have to press this again. Okay. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Whoa, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82. Well, I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department, 5842189. Wait. 5842189. 5842189. Let's go. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning. It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say that the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? Goodman. Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused. And this is, oh shit. Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department, the prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Wright. Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier, that started with 82. I've forgotten. You even got the first number wrong. The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Sharp as a tack, Righto, sharp as a tack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. You can't just take it from us. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet, a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible. So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, in a completely different location? I guess so. Whoa, Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error, Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare... We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha! Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I got your report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman, murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. I don't know if that was an intentional pun, but... Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then Will you stop staring at me? Will you stop staring? Stop it! No such luck this time, Worthy. Should I say, unworthy. What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law, Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, rule number 2. New evidence may only be submitted if it concerns the case on trial. And how is this relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in the court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Wright over here. Good job, Wright, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! What the hell? It seems we have come to the end of this trial. You are becoming a thorn in my side, Worthy. There have been rumors. After all, you were just in the defendant's chair just last year. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one more day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened if it's the last thing I do. You better get results this time, really. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. We will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will this be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake I hope it's not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. Whoa. Man, that was really intense. Holy wow. I'm sorry. I'm like stretching. I haven't even been here for that long. I'm just, wow, that was really intense. I guess that's it for this episode. I really don't know what to say. This whole, like, the same guy killed in two places at the same time. Weird. Anyways, I guess that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, or maybe even subscribe. I will see you next time.